One of the most useful and helpful tools in selecting color is the fan deck. So at Chameleon we thought we would give this a digital update and add some new features to it. So on the screen here you can see how we can lay out a palette of colors in exactly the same way as you can in a fan deck. We can create different palettes or subsets of palette that you can select just by clicking on a tab. We'd also add some additional tools like creating little color cards for suggestions for fashion colors, most popular colors, trend colors, all taken from the principal fan deck. So just with a quick click you can get an idea of what type of colors would be fashionable, popular, trendy. By selecting a color or by pointing to a color you can see the color's name and its ID, and when you click into that color and scroll down, you get a little bit more information about that color and some different views. We have the ability to create a set of real-life environments where you can see that color being applied in a room setting. We have the near neighboring colors, which is a tool that allows you to have more than just the few surrounding colors that are similar to it that you can see in a fan deck. In a fan deck you're looking at a two-dimensional world. But in color space, that's a three-dimensional space. You have lighter colors, darker colors above and below it. You have colors of slightly different shades in hue either side of it. But you also have colors which are lighter and more yellow, lighter and more chromatic, darker and gray, darker, less chromatic. Essentially there's a whole 360-degree space around that color, and so within any one palette you can have 27 or 30 colors that are quite similar but all in slightly different ways. We refer to these as near neighboring colors, and so down at the bottom of the fan deck here, when you click on any given color, it immediately shows you every single possible near neighboring color in all of these three-dimensional possible areas, as opposed to just the two-dimensional layout of the fan deck. We also give you some great ideas for colors that would coordinate with the color that you select, and we do this by using a methodology that we refer to as phi, which is a method of locating colors that work great with the color that you're selecting, based on the proportional relationships in color space to those colors, using methodologies that have literally been used for centuries in design and architecture to create color combinations that are feel-good colors and based on the methods that professional color stylists employ when they're selecting colors, and also the methods that nature indeed employs when it's putting great color combinations together. Also, having selected a color, you can request more information on that color, and by clicking more info it'll give you the light reflectance value for that color, which is a method of defining the color in terms of how different it is overall in contrast, which is very important in certain environments. It will give you the Cmyk number based on ICC profiles that will give you a good set of values to use to recreate this color using printing inks. It gives you the RGB value for the color, which is commonly used in major third-party CAD applications and also graphic design programs, hex values, another digital way of describing the color, and the LAB values of the color, which is another technical description that's often required by manufacturers or by color designers or by architects. So if we just close this box, another feature that we have is to allow you to jump to parts of the palette simply by selecting the reds or the greens, and again we group those colors based on their chromaticity and based on their hue value. If you want to look up a color by its specific name or number, or indeed just find all of those colors that would have yellow in their name, then this will give you a subset based on a adjective description for that color. More filters will include the ability to do a search based on an LRV value, an RGB value, or an LAB value. And so if you've been given an RGB from a software program, you simply key in that set of RGB values and the program will give you all of the colors that are closest fits to that particular RGB value or LAB value, etc. By selecting the Download All Colors option, we also create digital palettes for your color palette that can be imported directly into major CAD and graphic design software programs. So instead of just having the generic palette of colors for use with your software applications, you can have every single one of the colors in your own palette able to be imported into that software, which is obviously a huge advantage and a very simple way of pulling all of your great colors into all of those major software applications.